Hello everyone. Today, this is going to be a video for Patreon only. And this is a video for Patreon. Today, we're going to be looking at the back of the Thoth tarot decks. We're going to look at the Hermetic Rose Cross on the back of the cards. And as you'll see, this image on the back of the tarot cards actually is kind of the table of contents. It has the whole tarot within it. This has the whole scheme of the tarot, just like the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. And today we're going to break this down. Now, the tarot is essentially a picture book of initiation. It is a picture book of initiation. So that by contemplating these cards, for example, this fortune card here, any of these cards, by contemplating these cards, we could have changes within ourselves, okay? And they are tools of self-transformation, and they are tools of spiritual growth and initiation. So we have here a bunch of sacred images or sacred paintings. You could think of them in that way. And each of these represents a type of mystery. So tarot is often used for divination, and yet it is also, it teaches you how to speak the language of symbols. Okay? The language of symbols. So, very beautiful deck. But each of these cards has the same back, and that is what we are going to talk about today. This image is called the Hermetic Rose Cross. Now, the Hermetic Rose Cross, as we'll see, this and the Kabbalistic Tree of Life shows the whole scheme of the tarot. The tarot basically is a picture book of initiation. Here we have an image of the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. And essentially, this is a glyph of the universe. It is a map of the universe. It is a map of our own psyche. And the whole of the tarot can be placed on the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. The aces are in Keter. The 2s, 3s, 4s. So the numbered cards from 1 to 10 are associated with the 10 Sephirot of the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. The court cards, the knights, queens. In the Thoth deck, the knights are what in most decks are called the kings. There's a reason for it, but that's a whole other thing to go into. The knights are the fathers, the queens, the princes, or you could say all 6 of these Sephirot are the princes, and then we have the daughter or the princess. Now, all of this represents our pathway. So this lowest sphere here represents our everyday material consciousness, and this number 1 represents our absolute complete union with the divine. And moving up the tree is symbolic of the path of return, or union with the divine, or self-realization. Okay? And each of these paths represents and each of these spheres represents a force of nature, a force within ourselves. So basically, the tarot is composed of 4 suits, with numbers 1 through 10. These are the 10 Sephirot in the 4 elements and in the 4 Kabbalistic worlds. And the paths between the Sephirot are associated with the 22 trump cards or major arcana. Basically, whether we are using the tarot as psychological tools of self-transformation, whether we are using them for spiritual growth, or whether we're doing astral projection whether you interpret that as objectively astral projecting or whether you interpret that as active imagination, inward journeying within the mind. Either way, this provides a type of schema, a type of ladder of ascent, a ladder of this divine ascent. And in a sense, we are climbing as we build the ladder. We are building unto ourselves a ladder. Okay? Now, all of this is also found symbolically here in the Hermetic Rose Cross image. Now, this image was used by adepts of the second order, or RRAC of the second order of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. So this is the Hermetic Rose Cross. Okay, if you look at the center of the image, you could see a smaller rose cross within a larger rose cross. Now this image, the rose cross, is an image of a secret society or brotherhood and sisterhood, the Rosicrucians. And this is a whole topic to go into unto itself. The Rosicrucians were supposedly a secret society of alchemists that we have the Fama Fraternitatis, and we have the Confessio, and we have the Chemical Wedding of Christian Rosenkreuz. We have 3 texts that were supposedly published by a secret society in the early 17th century that announced the existence of a secret society that would reformulate the knowledge and bring about an era of enlightenment. Okay, whether or not this original order existed is debated by scholars. And today there are many orders that claim to be the original. Many Rosicrucian orders, I should say, exist. Some of them claim to be the original, like Amark. And then there are, which it's not, that was invented in 1909, okay, but they claim that they go back not only to the Germanic Rosicrucians of the 1600s, but all the way back to Egypt, and that's just not true. But whatever, there's mythological history, and then there's more, like, accurate history. But there's legendary histories in some occult orders. But whatever the case may be, there are various Rosicrucian societies. There is Amark today. There is the second order of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Is actually a Rosicrucian society within the AA. The second order, there's like a whole bunch. The Societas Rosicruciana in Anglia or America even. There's different... which is like a Masonic. There's the Gold und Rosenkreuz of the 18th century. So there are various Rosicrucian societies. Whatever the case may be, this is the Rose Cross is a symbol of a secret brotherhood and sisterhood of alchemists. Okay, that are said to have the secret of turning base metals into gold, which symbolizes also the transmutation of our own baser aspects of our character into pure gold. And once again, like I said, this is a video just for Patreon only. So we're kicking this off. We're looking at the back of the card. Now, so as you can see at the center is a smaller rose cross within a larger rose cross. This represents us as a reflection of nature. This is the microcosm. Man is a perfect microcosm. You could say, as above, so below. Or you could say, man is made in the image of God, or in the image of Adam, in the image of the universe. So you see that the outer world is a reflection of the inner world. The inner world is a reflection of the outer world. And you could also say that human beings, as a microcosm, we are a reflection of nature. So that's why you see the rose cross within the larger rose cross. Now, if you count the number of petals in this rose here, the number of petals, there are actually 22 petals. Okay, 22 petals. These are associated with the 22 major arcana, okay? And then the four arms of the cross are associated, the yellow is associated with the element of air, the red arm of the cross is associated with fire, the blue arm of the cross is associated with water, and the green arm of the cross associated with earth. Now, in the tarot, these four elements are represented as swords, wands, cups, and swords, wands, discs, and cups. Okay? So you have the four suits and four elements. So earth, air, fire, and water. Okay? And then we have these reflected in the discs are earth, swords are air, cups are water, wands are fire. And fire also represents our passions and also our divine spirit, our enthusiasm, okay, our passion, our aggression, our desires. Waters represent the more feelings and sensitivity and love and reflective emotions, less the fiery active emotions of like aggression and lust and things like that, more of the cool watery emotions, okay? And then of course swords have to do with cutting into something and analyzing it. Like think of cutting something open and looking in. You are analyzing ideas. Swords have to do with the element of air, and air of course is symbolically above the earth. It rises to the heights. So we have this idea of intellect and ideas. And of course, dis in the element of earth represents the physical body and the material world. So these fourfold elements, they're nothing to do with chemical elements. Symbolic, they are states of matter. They could be looked at that way, but really they represent just fourfold classifications. We're not trying to be literally scientific in that sense. We're looking at just ways of looking at ourselves and mapping the world. And so we have this idea of there being four elements, okay? By the way, I wanted to show off this book, and there's actually an excellent chapter. This is not the first time I've gotten into the Hermetic Rose Cross, many times over the years, but today's talk, a lot of this is found in this chapter. And I'm not going to lie, I recapped with this. This is an excellent book. So this is Understanding Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot by Lon Milo Duquette. I highly recommend this book. I'm going to give a link for those that want to buy a copy, and just to help monetize my channel, I'll give commission links, which people don't have to use if they want to use it. Check out the inside cover. Isn't that cool? The inside cover here, you have the Stele of Revealing. So this is just the inside. This is like the cardboard cover. Here you have it shows the image of the back of the tarot cards. Okay. All right. Good morning. Now check out the back cover of the book. Check this out. This is pretty cool. Look at that. That's the cardboard of the book. Very good quality, very good book. I don't mention any like books that are not very good. If I'm mentioning a book, it's probably pretty good, but I just love this inside cover. This is a very detailed version of the Hermetic Rose Cross. Okay? And here you could also see the Hebrew letters. Okay? And look at the smaller rose cross within the larger, showing the microcosm and the macrocosm. Okay? As you could see, the yellow is associated with air, so you have the swords. Red for fire and wands. Blue for water and the suit of cups, green for earth and the suit of discs, and white actually represents the element of spirit, which permeates all the cards. If you count these petals, you have 22 petals. These 22 petals are associated with the 22 trump cards or major arcana. So basically, the back of the Thoth deck, this is not accidental. The back of the cards is like a table of contents for the whole tarot. just in the sense that it shows, symbolically speaking, the whole deck. Okay? So here you have the 4 suits and the 4 elements, and the white right here is the element of spirit. Now, something interesting here, if you, this is Harris's rendition, okay? But if you look at this more elaborate version here, okay, it's interesting, okay, because you have pentagrams on the 4 arms, and yet you have the hexagram right here. Now, what does that mean? The pentagram represents the microcosm, okay, and the 5 elements. The hexagram represents the macrocosm. It's interesting that this calls to mind the end or the last part of the lesser ritual of the pentagram. For about me flames the pentagram. For about me flames the pentagram, and in the column or in the center shines the 6-rayed star. So we have this idea in the Hermetic Rose Cross, for about me flames the pentagram, in the column or in the center shines a 6-rayed star within me. So again, we have the union of the microcosm and the macrocosm. Now, we have the number 5, the microcosm, and the number 6. 5 plus 6 is 11. And 11 represents the union of the microcosm and the macrocosm. Okay, and of course you have abrahadabra. Now, 5s also represent the 4 elements crowned by spirit. Crowned by spirit. Now, within the tarot, I said that there is also the element of spirit. The element of spirit is represented by the aces. The aces, okay? So the 4 court cards. So first of all, wands, swords, cups, and discs represent the 4 suits, but also the 4 court cards and the aces represent the 5 elements. The aces and Keter are the element of spirit. Now, within the aces are the 4 court cards, okay? Just as within Keter is the potentiality or the seed, the spiritual germ of the rest of the tree. So, the knights, in most decks it's called the kings. Here they're called knights because they are active. The knights are the father. They are here in Chokmah. The queens in Binah, the mother. The son or the princes could be seen as 6 Tiferet, but really composes all 6 of the Sephirot, Chesed all the way down to Yesod. These 6 Sephirot could be seen to represent the prince or the son, S-O-N. Finally, the daughter, the princess, is Malkut, which represents the physical body, the physical world, the Nefesh, the material universe, which holds all of these higher forces in the same way that all the potential of all things is in Keter, all is manifested in Malkut. Thus, Malkut is in Keter, Keter, and Malkut. But the aces, they are the element of spirit, and they contain all the other court cards, as in potential. So, back with this, you could say that each pentagram represents the aces as well as the knights, queens, prince, and princess of each of the suits of swords, wands, cups, and discs. Okay? And you could also say that it has the whole tree. Again, the ace is spirit. The father, or the knights, is Chokmah. The mother, the queen, is Binah. And then the next 6 Sephirot, Chesed, Geburah, Tiferet, Netzachod, and Yesod, the next 6 Sephirot are the son, S-O-N, and the prince. And finally, the daughter and the princess. Alright, so, as you can see here, I need to silent that real quick, but as you see here, you have within each pentagram the whole tree. So you really have 4 trees. It's actually pretty interesting. Now, let's look at the flashing colors. Yellow is associated with swords and air, and yet the pentagram is purple. In the red, this is green pentagram. Orange pentagram in the blue. this one's white. Why is that? Because these three, okay, these all exist within each other, okay? For example, what is green? Green is the combination of yellow and blue, okay? What is purple? Purple is the combination of red and blue, okay? What is orange? It's the combination of red and yellow. But earth is set apart, just like earth is not included in the three mother letters, which again are shown here. Now, the primary, secondary, and intermediate colors are represented here. But as you can see, earth actually has white that associates with Keter, because spirit is in Malkuth is in Keter, and Keter is in Malkuth. Now, if you zoom in at the very center, as I said, you have the microcosmic rose cross. This demonstrates the nature of being. And if you look in the very center of the rose, you actually see a white dot. This white point represents the monad. It is the seed of creation. It is the original source of all things. And if you really zoom in on that white point, you discover that it is actually the cube. Now, the cube is actually 3 dimensions. And these 3 dimensions demonstrate that a point could move up and down, forward and back, left and right. Thus, with 3 dimensions, you have 7 positions, which is the center, and then these 6 directions. And then you have 12 edges of the cube. These equal 22. So again, you get the 22 petals of the 22 Hebrew letters. Now, these 22 Hebrew letters represent the forces of nature, the principles and forces of nature. Okay, so we experience the forces of nature crucified upon the cross of time and space. Okay, so we experience these 22 forces that are symbolized also by the trump cards played out in the realm of time and space, represented by the greater cross of manifestation and the greater world around us. So the central rose cross is the individual. Okay. And this little circle around the rose cross, this is like our little space to be, okay? See these 4 green barbs coming out of the rose? This is like our little world, our own little time and space, and our own little lives. This is our place to experience. Now, through our lives, we're able to experience duality between Mim and Shin, or water and fire, representing female and male, cool and hot. So you have all opposites and Aleph that reconciles. Beyond that, we have the 7 planets and what they represent. Now, it's interesting if you look at the colors of the 3 mother letters, which of course all goes back to the Sefer Yetzirah, and like the earliest roots of the Kabbalah, the Sefer Yetzirah, the 3 mother letters. These are the primary colors, yellow, blue, and red. From these primary colors, the next 7 show the 7 colors of a prism and also the 7 chakras. Hold on just a second, but it's very interesting that if you look at the colors of the chakras, and then you look at the colors here, and I'm not trying to mix things or get too new age on y'all, but let's take a look here. So, red is associated with the tower and Mars. Orange is associated with Resh and the sun card and the sun. Okay, Bait is yellow. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Sounds like the 7 colors of the spectrum of the chakras and everything. And yet red is Pe and Mars and the tower. Resh is the sun. Bait is Mercury. Dalet is Venus. Gimel and blue is the moon. And indigo, that's Saturn. So we have the 7 colors of the prism. And this is really the 3 primary colors plus the secondary colors. Now, You combine these with the intermediate colors, you get the 12 signs of the zodiac. Hold on just a second. I've got my dog barking over here. Hold on. That is horrible timing. I'm trying to do a lesson here, and then my dog's barking over there, but I guess that's just the nature of duality and everything, isn't it? Okay. All right, y'all. So we're looking at this, and we, through our small lives, okay, not small lives, but you know what I mean, our own individual lives, or we interact with these 22 forces. These are the three elements. Now, is the world really so simple? Symbolically speaking, yes. This is not supposed to be like a literal, but a symbolic representation of the universe. Okay? When you hold a deck of tarot cards in your hands, you are holding a symbolic representation of the universe. You are holding the universe in your hands when you hold a deck of tarot cards. Why? Because it is a symbolic representation of the cosmos, much like the tree of life, much like this Hermetic rose cross right here. So all these different forces are represented by the 22 Hebrew letters, by the three elements. Now, what about Earth? Well, Earth is a concretization, okay? It makes material, these higher forces. But we are a reflection of the larger world, just as we're a cross within the cross, okay, rose cross. Now, we interact with these forces represented by the three elements, 7 planets and 12 zodiac signs, okay, played out on the larger cross of the universe and of time and space. And then, of course, here we have these 3 barbs between each one. Now, if you look at the old school, Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn Rose Cross, these have the letters INRI. And also in the outer part, and also it shows the zodiacal signs associated, or I is Virgo, N is Scorpio, R is the Sun, and I, of course, is Virgo. And then Yao and LVX. Now, what does this represent? Also, alchemical symbols of the 3 principles of salt, sulfur, and mercury, and these 3 things. This shows that the gunas revolve, that we go through a type of birth, growth, maturity, decay, and death. We go through these cycles. This is a rotating cycle. This isn't just a stationary kind of square. This is like this is a fourfold cycle. We see it throughout nature. All cycles. So we represent, this gives us the experience of change and flux. Okay, so change, transformation. There is so much more that we're going to go into here. But as you can see, the 4 suits, the swords, wands, cups, and discs, the 4 elements, the 22 trumps, all of this is shown in the Hermetic Rose Cross. Now, of course, the cross is really the unfolding of a cube. Okay? If you were to fold up a cross, you would have a cube. And then the cube is a representation of manifestation as well as the seed of creation. Okay? It is manifestation. It's also the seed. Okay, so it's both like the full and the universe. So, that is just a little bit going into this Hermetic Rose cross. This symbol that is on the back of all of these cards, okay? All of these cards, I mean, you could look at the front of the cards, that's fine, cool. But when you lay out these cards, the backs themselves have a deeper meaning, okay? The back of the cards. This is the Hermetic Rose cross. And it also represents the union of the microcosm and macrocosm. It represents the great work, the union of the male and the female. The rose is also the female sexual symbol, and the cross or the root is the male sexual symbol. So representing the union of male and female, which gives creation, the union of all opposites, and the union of human and divine, the union of the adept and the holy guardian angel. So, in the union of Hadit and Nuit, okay, the infinite, infinitesimally small, minute point at the core of at the core, and then you have the infinitely expanding or infinite without, the cosmos, okay? So this is also a symbol of the great work. You have six, you fold up a cross and you get a cube. It's 6 sides. 6 is associated with the macrocosm, and then 5 of the microcosm. So, and then you have 5 and 6 grade, which is the Adeptus Minor, and this was used as the layman of adepts of the second order of the RR at AC. And of course you have the microcosm, the pentagram with the hexagram in the center. For about me flames the pentagram, and in the center shines a 6-rayed star. Now, if this sounds like a lot to go through, don't worry, it is. But all of this will make more sense with time. So, for many of you, you've heard this stuff a million times, but for many of you, this may be the first time you hear about this, and this may sound like Greek to you or something, but guess what? Or some language that you don't speak. The thing is, you're already learning a lot, and it's just going to go deeper and deeper. It's going to be great. We're going to go deeper into these cards. So that was just a quick video on the Hermetic Rose cross. And, yep, I will see y'all in the next video. Hope everyone's having a great day. Have a great day, y'all.